Good morning, my friends. What's up, Justus? Justus is queued up for the Fallout Boy this morning. That was my request. Forrest is in the green room. He tells me they're not cool anymore. Guess what? I stopped being cool like 15 years ago. Wait, how old am I? I'm 30. I stopped being cool 33 years ago. So I don't care. Justus, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing awesome. Pumped for today.
Me too.
It's gonna be a great call, man. We got Josh in the house. Josh Lee is here. We got Todd launched, I think, like last month. I mean, this is great. And Forrest is here as always. Faithful Forrest. That's my new name for him.
Which Todd just launched?
Todd in the green room.
Dude, Todd, can we hear all about it? Todd, tell us all about the launch. What happened?
Well, I launched the website and started getting a couple sales, and then What I did is I ran a Gleam contest, and it wasn't spectacular, but it was all wins as far as I'm concerned.
As far as I'm concerned too, you launched and you took sales. That's a BFD, as Michael Scott would say.
Yeah, absolutely. It took action, and so at the end of it, I think I got over 2,500 emails by the time it ended.
Fantastic.
Day before yesterday.
Good.
Grew the Facebook following by about 400. Grew
Good.
Instagram by about another 1,000.
And what's this time frame, Todd?
It was just about a month. It was just a little over.
That's an epic launch, and you're getting some sales. What is some sales? Is that
about
25? Is it 50?
Yeah. Yep, about 24 sales.
Good.
And the other cool thing is I got 2,000 pairs of briefs on a boat from China. That's awesome.
Because your brand is underwear, correct?
Underwear USA.
Underwear.
We're
Dude,
American.
So you know what your job is now.
If I don't, you're going to make sure I do.
Yes, I do. So you know what your job is right now?
Yeah. I just got to keep pushing the ball.
But also spoiling those 24 people.
That's good.
Giving those 24 people an incredible experience.
Yep.
Making them feel like the heroes in the story, thanking them, celebrating every single review you get, every positive email you get, you post it in front of those Instagram followers that you just got, emailing those 2,500 people that you just got and saying thank you to the literally 1% of you who just bought this product. It means so much to me. And for the other 99% of you, my job over the next 90 days is just to spoil all of you so that you have to reward me by buying yourself a pair of underwear.
That's awesome.
Right? It's like, that's your job.
That's great focus. That's great.
So many people will see 24 sales and are like, why didn't I get 500 more? And your job is to be like, that was the seed. Now let's water the seed because this is going to become something.
Yeah, for me, I mean, they're pre-orders. They're all pre-orders. They're all taking a chance, and it's a premium product. I'm not selling it for cheap. I've been given some deep discounts, but it's that's a win. Somebody placed some faith in me. Some people placed some faith in me, and that's
right.
And it for me, it's just proof of concept. If I'm not taking lots of sales, it's because a lot of people don't know that I exist, and that's my job, is to get in front of more people. Like you said, spoil those people. That's such helpful advice. Spoil those people.
Do you have anyone in mind who's like the ideal avatar, the ideal person for you to be serving? Do you have that in mind?
Ryan Daniel Moran. Yeah. Yeah, it's just guys want to be comfortable, but are you asking like as influencers? And
are they bikers? Are they entrepreneurs? Are they construction workers?
You know what? I think it would be I think it's generally envisioned for me, the avatar is kind of an athletic 25 to 40 45-year-old guy.
Yep.
In general, who's likes to be active and cares about how he looks and cares about his comfort and those kind of things, which is
what is he struggling with that is the reason he's buying this underwear versus something else?
Just because others don't keep your hardware where it belongs,
Okay.
So yeah, but maybe you're asking me a different question, but
I'm looking for the reason why someone would buy you over someone else. So I'm going to tell you a very personal story, if you're okay with that. Okay. So I go through periods in my life where I like to run and periods where I don't like to run at all. But those periods where I start to run again, some changes happen because there's things like chafing and sweating in certain areas.
Yep.
And when that happens, you're like, oh, I cannot wear cotton underwear. Just can't.
Right.
It's almost like a rite of passage among runners or bikers or anybody or CrossFitters.
Yeah.
And if you've read my book, I talk about getting somebody at the early part of their journey, that early switch.
Yeah.
So when did I start buying, what is it called? I think it's called 360-degree underwear, whatever the brand is. It's like made to breathe. When did I buy that? During one of the times when I started to become a runner again. So early in the journey, pain point.
Yep.
Grab me then.
Yep.
So for you, it's important for you to identify what that first experience is, what that new transition, what that new journey the person is going on, so you can grab them at that early phase. Guys who just want to be comfortable is not a transition phase of life.
Gotcha.
They want to be comfortable because what has changed, because what's different, because they've decided to do what. That's where you grab them. That's where those raving fans who are going to stay with you for a really long time are going to be found.
Yep. I need a clearer pain point.
Yeah, and pain points are hard to pick without a clear person who's going through something.
Gotcha.
Like I'll tell you, here's a great example. This man that you may or may not know, his name is Justus Marini. You've heard of him? He's just a phenomenal coach, just an absolutely phenomenal coach. And I have two friends who in the last week have had windfall events. They've sold a company or they've had a liquidation event where they had part of a company they worked at and it sold.
Yeah.
And that the transition for them is finding meaning and purpose after you've just sold your baby. Justice doesn't even know this, but I reached out to both of them yesterday and told them, hey, like if you need support, like I know the best guy in the world for you to talk to. Because Justice has a very clear person. It's the entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is his person. Almost 100% men. And Justice is really good at uncovering the purpose side of it. That's his genius. So what's the transition? I just made a lot of money and now I'm looking for purpose again because like I kind of graduated from one phase to the other. Who can I even talk to that understands this? Because if I talk to any of my friends, they're like, oh, boo-hoo, made too much money, right? So who's the guy for me to go to? It's Justice.
Yeah.
So what is that for Todd's underpants?
Yeah. Exactly.
You feel me?
I feel you right down in my pants. No, that's good. That really helps. That clarifies it and sharpens it. So
good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely dig down on that.
All right, Todd. Well, congratulations. Right. Go ahead, Justice.
Yeah. Thanks for all the help, you guys. Yeah.
Real quick, Todd, I have a quick question. One of the guys that was on one of our morning calls, Matthew Tremolata, he talked about how he had this cooling like towel. And at first he was just selling them, but then he realized that a lot of the people that were using it were like dads that were like mowing the lawn, and it was great for like landscaping and all that kind of stuff to just keep them cool. one thing that I think that Ryan hit on spoiling them is spoil them, but ask them like, hey, what drew you to my product? Like, what are you looking forward to using this, like having this for that you couldn't do before? So spoil them, small survey, just find out what they're using it for, age, all that kind of stuff. So it kind of, you can kind of figure out a little bit more, because my guess is it's you. It's probably you, and you had a pain point. And so what was the pain point that you created it for? What was that transition that you're like, I made something to solve my own problems? What were those problems? And you might be the avatar. So I would just do some research as you spoil them, and that will get you sales, so that you can kind of figure out what is that transition, who is that person, what are those pain points, so that I can speak to that and really start to see like raving fans. Like brand loyalty comes from like serving in a place of pain. So I think that's exciting. I'm pumped for it.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Good work, Todd. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate all the help.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet.
Yep. I mean, we just came out of the gate kind of hot there a bit.
Dude,
I was going to do some preamble with you. Todd came in hot. He launched.
It's awesome, man. He's been sharing his journey, and just so Todd knows, we have a private Slack channel, and I shared that you launched, and it was a photo of your underwear and just like someone's like package, and they are roasting me like crazy on our team Slack channel, because it's a picture of dudes wearing your underwear. But
that's a true story.
It's worth it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, Todd. We're cheering you on. You're doing great, man.
Hey, Justus, I want to preamble with you a bit. Now we got the group warmed up.
Let's go.
Team 1%ers. First of all, if you are watching live, please say hello in the comments. Please say hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Sean. Sean McCool is in the house.
I know, man. And he's going to be in the incubator today. He's coaching in the incubator today. He is ready.
And Sean's on freaking fire. Have you talked to him in the last?
Yes.
He's taking double doses of On Switch, I think.
Yeah.
He is on.
Yes.
Hey, good morning, Sarah Dalton. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hey, Dorian. Hey, Gordon. Hey, Alan Thompson is here. Good to see you, my friend. Hi, Rhonda. Hey, John Nelson. Christy. Hello. I was thinking about you this morning. I'm excited to hear the update from you later today. Hey, everybody. Hey, hey, Markian. Hey, Fernando. Hey, Matt Ohms. Good to see you guys. All right. So I want to, first of all, there's two things going on.
Yeah.
And Tony's in the house.
Dude, Tony. Gosh, don't get me started.
I posted that video. We blew up Tony's business in the incubator last week. I can't wait to hear what has happened to his brain. Tony, if you want, I'd love to have you in the green room today, if you're comfortable with it. So hop on in here. And apologies for calling you Nate several times. So Justus and I want to talk to you guys about a couple things right now. First, I want to get something like clear and out in the open, because it's something that Justus and I have been talking about and that we're working on. And that's engagement in the 1% right now is super low.
Yep.
It's super low. Like the attendance on these calls, way lower than it usually is. The response rate inside this group is much lower than it has been. And we're addressing why that is. And so there's two things going on right now. One is we're wondering if a different platform is better for everybody. Is there a different place where you want to engage more often? Is there a different place that we can engage in that stays, in your awareness, in a place where you'll see it, where we can serve you more readily? Because if Facebook or this type of streaming approach isn't it, like we want to show up for the group. Like we want to be here, and we notice that the engagement's low, and we're addressing what to do about that. So if you have feedback for us, either in the comments or privately, if you just want to shoot Justus or myself a message, this is something that we're gathering intel on that we want to talk about, because we genuinely love showing up for you guys and being there for you. And so the second thing that I wanted to go through is this is an ask of all of you. Justus and I have had several heart-to-hearts lately. Like dudes having heart-to-hearts. You would think it was adorable. And Justus and I both are in a mode of our lives where we just want to serve.
Yeah.
we had this conversation yesterday where we realized, like, one of us said, showing up in a place of service and love and kindness and giving is the best part of life. It is the best part of life. And both of us are in that mode right now. We have very little interest in teaching, although we will if that is the best way we can serve. We are kind of done with this atmosphere of like guruship where there's this person here and the group is down here. Just over it. Just doesn't even sound fun. We are in community building mode, and we are in a mode of service in our lives. And so I'm telling you all that because it is a genuine joy for the two of us and our entire team to go all in on this community of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So my ask of you is for you to come into the green room and to bring your questions and your challenges, to be active in wherever we decide to host this group moving forward, and that you are vocal about where you are struggling so that we can just pour into you. That is genuinely our desire for where we are right now. The thing, you would love to hear the conversations we're having about where to take this group next. You would love it. We're not ready to be like, here's where we're going yet, because I've been asked by my team many times to save my ideas until they are fully fleshed out. But we are in that mode, okay? So that is my ask for today. Justus, do you want to add any context or color to that?
No, this is really great. Here, one of the things is in being in give mode is like we want to give you a ton of value, especially here in the 1%. I just want to remind you guys, like when I sit down and when Ryan sits down, we're like, it's like, how do we get you free, like financial freedom fast? Like, how do we get you to that place? Pick your vehicle. We don't care if it's, hey, I'm going to be a guru. We don't care if it's a brand. We don't care. But the thing that we're like passionate about is really serving you guys and not trying to hack the Facebook algorithm to get there. We just want to be with you. And so how do we give most? Is like, we want to show up and be able to give as best as we can where you guys will show up. And then the second thing is, I am so pissed that I can't share with you the stuff that we're dreaming up. Like, I literally have to wait until after CapCon, and I'm pissed. Like, I am brimming with excitement about what we're doing. Okay, I see one up here. I like that form. I've heard that a few times, and again, that's kind of one of the things that I'm brainstorming is like, would it be private Zoom calls where you guys are in the room with the people that we're excited to bring to you, and we just do straight Q&A and just give from some of the top level people that we love? We don't know. But we are brainstorming about how to best serve you guys. So just know your guys' growth is like our number one like goal, and we want to help you.
But why don't we just pour in? Why don't we just hop into the green room here? I called Tony in here, so I'm going to pick on him first. So Tony, what's going on, my friend? How are you, Nate?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How's your brain since last week?
I've been feeling real good. Like I got on it. Like when I saw all that, I want to say thank you. That was amazing. I was like sitting there. I was like, wow. All this stuff started flowing. And
would you just tell those who are not in the incubator? Would you just share a little bit about what happened?
Sure. So after my pitch presentation, Ryan went hard because you got hyped. Like I already know based on that video. Ryan basically went through this process where he was able to grab my products or where I was heading, and he was able to articulate it 100 times better than I could because I didn't know where I was going with it. And based on what I got, it was the multiple braingasms came through where it was like there was so much information that was pouring out based on how Ryan basically was able to grab my brand and my message and tailor products towards my customer, and also give out like the free PDF, which is what I'm working on right now.
So, Tony, would it be okay if we shared specifics, or would you like to protect the direction?
You could share specifics. That's not a problem with me.
Okay, cool. So why don't you tell a little bit about the brand you were doing, and then we'll talk about how we repositioned it a bit.
Yeah. So my brand was originally like just an Amazon-based brand. Like I just sold products for product's sake, but there was an underlying story behind why I started the brand, but I wasn't able to articulate that well. And going through the pitch presentation, I told my story about how I was going, when I was a little bit younger, a few years back, I was overweight, depressed, and inactive, and I would isolate myself from people. It led me to having suicidal thoughts, and my solution was exercise. I started working out, and I ate better, felt better, slept better. I started thinking better. And telling my story, I wasn't able to articulate that in the process of, you know, create, like having a brand around that. It was more, I was just selling products, but I wasn't able to articulate my vision based on that.
And Tony, I think the key point for you was that you were selling to Tony today. In your pitch presentation, your product line was what Tony wanted today, which was, what's the most efficacious, scientifically backed supplement line for people who are already actively working out. Like that is Tony today.
Yeah.
And in his pitch, he had several brands that he was emulating or competing against. And I told him flat out, I'm like, they're going to crush you because they already own that marketplace. They already own that person, that segment of the market. But if we dial it back to who Tony was 5 years ago, and we serve that person with the same product line, now we have a brand new brand. So Tony, tell them a little about that.
So going about the process, like Ryan said, just tailoring my brand towards helping people that were in the same boat as me back in the day, and just articulating that. What was really nice about it was some of the products that Ryan proposed, I already have, but I wasn't able to. Now I can kind of set it into I can market it specifically towards that person of who I used to be, and it's been huge. And going about that process, I am very and I see now that this brand can instantly be a 7-figure, 8-figure brand just based on that positioning. Yeah, exactly.
Easy. So like the one option is to go after a group of people that's already got a bunch of different choices, or you go after the avatar of the person who is depressed and needs a literal lifeline. And you say, okay, we are now in the life-saving business. And what I told Tony was, you know, one of the products that I recommended was, instead of coming out with like the next testosterone booster, you make a high protein pancake mix. Now, why in the world would you do that? Well, because there's studies to show that the worst thing you can have for breakfast if you're depressed or anxious is a sugary breakfast. Makes your insulin levels all over the place, and it does not regulate mood. But if you give them a low carb, high protein breakfast, even if it's not perfect, it helps regulate mood. So even if you give that person just have pancakes for breakfast. That's the only thing I want you to do. Like, can you imagine that video of Tony being like, look, you don't need to change your diet. Like, I don't need to get you doing squats every day. Just eat pancakes for breakfast. I made this pancake mix for you. It does not. Now some people like in the health food space would say there needs to be no artificial sweeteners. There needs to be no this flour. There needs to be no gluten. There needs to be no. But that's not Tony's positioning. He's in the life-saving business. I don't care if he is selling pure soy protein isolate with vital wheat gluten and extra aspartame. I don't care, right? I want the macros to make sense for that one person that says, this is the most delicious pancake mix. Why would I eat anything else? I'm going to pour my artificially sweetened syrup all over it and eat it. Great. That is a meaningful change for that person who is depressed. Give them one thing that they can change. And then we do that 3 more times with the product line. You get that person from depressed to doing it 1 bench press. We have an 8-figure company, no problem. I told Tony, if you don't do this, I would like your permission to do it myself, because that positioning is that good. So you feel good after all this, Tony?
Oh man, like you just sending me that video. I was like, damn, Ryan just gave me like an 8-figure brand just like that.
And I really believe that. I really believe that. And I wanted Tony to share all of this because I really believe that all of you have that potential when you find that person and that pain point. It's so tempting to look at there being 12 different pre-workouts in the marketplace and saying all the money's in pre-workouts, so let's sell pre-workouts. It's so tempting because you're looking at what someone else is being successful with. But the real magic is when you dial that back and say, who is this for? Why are they buying it? And how do I just overserve that person? And with that positioning, Tony has all of the raving fans he could ever want, because if he can give somebody that shift of, I was depressed, now I'm active because I ate pancakes and drank pre-workouts. You're golden.
Ryan, can you share what you see a ton of brands, and part of the thing that kickstarted this was that, you know, Tony went through a process in the incubator and did a pitch deck. He got selected to pitch in front of a panel. But you see a ton of brands, a ton of people want you to invest, a ton of people want you to share. What about his brand got you excited enough to send him a video? Like, what did you see that you were like, I'm going to make this guy, I'm going to take time out of my day, send a video. And this is one of the many brands that reaches out to me or gets in front of me.
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that, because the truth is Tony's brand as it was not exciting to me. The story that he told about that transformation that he made, which was 5 years ago, I was depressed and having suicidal thoughts. Then I started working out, and here I am today. That's the person. There's so many of that person who was depressed and looking to transition. Tony's route was fitness. Awesome. But there's problems there. Most depressed people do not want to go to the gym. Most depressed people are putting donuts in their mouths to soothe their own internal pain. It's one of the ways that we soothe ourselves. So how do we just make it easy for them to turn the dial a little bit? Give them the pre-workout that makes them want to go for a walk or do one short workout routine. How do we just make it easier for them to make that transition? And so I was just thinking about that question because Tony put it in my brain, and I do my best thoughts on airplanes. And then I was in the airport literally pacing around, and I literally said to Pam, I was like, I just had the best idea. I just had the best idea. I started journaling about it on the plane. Took me 2 days to prepare the video. Like it was just, I saw the transformation that Tony wanted to give his customer. That was it. It was what transformation is Tony giving his customer? Meant nothing about the existing brand, the product line, none of that. It was all about Tony talking about that transformation he was giving the customer.
Yeah. And Tony, thinking from a logistical place, just like practical, it's like, now that you're clear on the transformation and the person, man, the opt-ins just come to mind. The PDFs you can create, the ads, all the stuff could just become so clear and easy. Like the headlines just become real clear for this because you're like, you know who your person is, you know what their pain points are, you can speak to them, you can give them all kinds of resources for free that add them to your email list. Like it just becomes like, and even I think part of what Ryan shared makes it really clear as to who you are. Like this is very much like Aubrey Marcus. Like here's where I was struggling, so I created these things to help, and I'm now known not just as someone who's sold an amazing brand, but I'm also seen as kind of this resource for people that are at one space going to another, and I could speak to all these different nootropics and all kinds of stuff. So, dude, this is exciting. We're pumped for you, man.
Really pumped for you.
It means a lot. Thank you.
So please go in that direction.
Yes, absolutely.
Please go in that direction. There are all kinds of influencers and investors to support that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good work, my friend. Good to see you.
Good
Great job, Tony.
Yeah, thank you.
So pumped for that brand. All right.
This has been the second time that you've hit on the transformation that you're seeing in in brands. Was this something that when you were doing like sheer strength and all that, and all the brands that you've done before, were you clear early on the transformation? Were you like, I know the transformation that I want, that is happening for my customer? You're getting so clear for other people's transformation. Was that, how long did it take for you and the brands that you built to see that transformation?
It actually took a couple of years. It took a couple of years because we had to cast a net that captured a certain person, right? You start selling one product and it's going well, and then you sell another product and it's going well. Well, on product number 3, it's like, well, we could do this, or we could do this, or we could do this. What is actually the follow-up? So like one way that I used to teach this, Justus, is I noticed that a lot of Amazon sellers would start selling notebooks, and then they would start selling water bottles.
Yeah.
And there was no connection between those two. So the way that I was teaching it back in 2013, 14, 15 was, when you sell one product, the second product you sell should be a logical follow-up to that first product.
Yeah.
It was as simple as that. And at the time, Amazon sellers were like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then as the marketplace continued to mature, it was very clear that only brands were going to win.
Yeah.
And so what is a brand? Now that we have 2 products, what's the third one that serves that same person who bought product number 1 and product number 2? And now it starts to emerge.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Cool. Why don't we go over to Forrest?
Let's go.
Forrest, what's up, my friend? How are you this morning?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you.
Glad to hear it.
Follow Up Boy never falls out of style. It was just a really big surprise that you picked that one. So,
well, what's going on? How can we help?
Yeah, that was actually really good with Tony, because his story is very similar to mine, and he's doing, his protein mix or pancake mix. And I was dying when you said gluten and artificial sweeteners, but that's beside the point. But,
your brand would be different.
My brand's going to be different. Exactly. But it's serving like a very, very similar customer. So it's a healthy coffee creamer. And instead of being in the coffee creamer space, we're in the life-saving space. So that was huge. That was huge.
Talk that out a little bit more. How does the coffee creamer save their life?
So it's targeted for clients with people with autoimmune conditions. And the coffee creamer is going to actually have something called glutathione. It's going to decrease inflammation in it. So when they have their cup of coffee in the morning, instead of pouring, artificial sweeteners and flavorings and colors into their body, which is going to make the autoimmune condition worse, this actually decreases it.
And is that because fake foods, I'll call them, increase inflammation?
They do.
Got it. So we might take the exact same person.
Yes.
But simply give them a different rope, like a different lifeline.
Yes.
That is, depression is an inflammatory disease. Depression, why do people have COVID brain? You might not want to say this on social media, but why do people get COVID brain? Inflammation in the body, inflammation in the brain. That's why they get brain fog. It's why they get depressed. So what we do is we decrease inflammation. How do we do that? What's the easiest way we can do that? Put this in your coffee. Have this for breakfast. Have this for lunch. Pour this on your salad.
Awesome. Yeah.
Sorry, I just totally hijacked.
No, that's perfect. That was perfect. Yeah, that was excellent, because I'm working with an ad agency, and our Facebook ads are not converting. And it's like, okay, it's got to be the copy, because I know these people. I used to be one of them. I know how to talk to them. I know how to sell to them. I've done it before, and it's just like, okay, the copy's got to be different. And so what you just said, in tying the problem and then here's the solution, I think is what is missing. So that's excellent.
Sean McCool is amazing at hooks and coming up with angles. He just posted one for you, which was the 20-second morning routine to decrease inflammation. 20 seconds. Throw it in your coffee, stir it for 20 seconds, drink it, no more inflammation.
You know that you had Alex Hormozy on, and I've been diving into his videos and whatnot, and I just watched one where Sean McCool, you just did it, where it's like the duration, so the 20-second benefit, result, power word. That's amazing. So yeah, that's fantastic.
It's a good headline. Good
That's
word.
a good headline. That's a good headline.
So again, just to reiterate the point, you could have the exact same person, just with different routes of getting there, like the different route of helping that person. And yours might not be fitness. It would be changes to their diet.
Yep.
Awesome. That means the two of you can collab. Why would you collab? Because Tony now has this group of 10,000 people who are eating pancakes and doing bench presses. No more depression. It's just bench pressing. And now you do a webinar together where he's like, all right, guys, listen, we got you to step 1. Step 2, I want you to hear what Forrest has to say about brain inflammation.
Right.
And you do a podcast together or a webinar or whatever it is. And now he's actually promoting your coffee creamer. Like, how many of you have coffee with your pressed pancakes? All the hands go up. All right, I want you to put this in your coffee for 30 days and watch what happens. And then Forrest is like, all right, hey, everybody, my job here is to convince Tony to swap out his aspartame for allulose because it's a little bit better. And that's how you guys end up collabing and ethically colluding to create 2 brands for the same person with different modalities. And then some private equity group comes up and wants to buy you both up as a roll up because together you're worth more. Right?
That's huge.
Just love it.
There is a question that I did have. You said spoil your current people, your current customers. So other than giving them, free PDFs on how to be healthy, how to decrease inflammation, and how do you spoil customers so that way they feel valued? Do you ask them, or what are the best ways to spoil your current people?
The best ways for first lowest hanging fruit, celebrate their wins publicly. So that means Forrest has a $10,000 launch. We put him on the podcast and we brag about him on social media. We make you the hero.
Right.
That's spoiling Forrest. Gives him new customers. Like, one of the ways I'm about to spoil you is there's a bunch of people on here who want to buy your creamer. So I'm going to ask you to put the link somewhere so people can buy your creamer. So it's just thinking about what is best for that other person and how do I go all in on them. Like if you do nothing else, just make them the hero and celebrate their wins. It makes you look good. It makes them look good. It makes the customers want to rise to the level of the hero that they're seeing. From there, then it is things like thanking them for reviews, putting them first in line to try new products.
Awesome. Okay.
I want to. Forrest, what do you do for a living? Plus, love the Young Life shirt. Shout out. What do you do for a living? I know you've shared before, but what is your expertise?
I'm a chiropractor trained in functional medicine, so that's my primary.
Awesome. What influencers are already in front of the audience you want to serve that you could serve that influencer by bringing practical chiropractic inflammation reducing stuff to, that you could say, hey, this is just a give. I don't need more clients. I just love doing this. And you can just get in front of them and start sharing what you know. One of the that give, and even spoiling the audience of other people that are already in front of your ideal customer. You have so much expertise and so much knowledge. I think there could be someone there that could be a really powerful partner that you could also just say, hey, at the right time, I also have these products that I'd love to partner with you on getting them in front of. But I think you have an expertise here that is an easy give, that with your knowledge, it would be like you're essentially saying, I can help you with content or getting in front of your audience and giving them information. And it could be a massive give.
I don't really know any influencers. I'm kind of anti-social media as far as that goes. But
don't mistake influencer for Instagram content creator.
Exactly.
Okay.
Influencer can be a podcaster. Influencer can be someone who runs a LinkedIn group. An influencer can be a blogger that you respect, a YouTube creator. An influencer can be an email newsletter.
Okay. Sweet.
Does anybody come to mind when Justus asked you that question if you're not thinking about social media?
I gotta be honest, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you ask the question one more time, Justus?
Yeah, who is someone that already has the audience that you want to get in front of that you can just give your expertise to, partner with?
And that group is people who are depressed and have inflammation.
So like you said, that's podcasters and bloggers. And so then I would just go and reach out to those people who niche in that area and say, hey, do you want to or do you want to have an outside opinion on this topic?
Or can I send you some creamer?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
It's like, I love your work. I'm a functional medicine chiropractor. I've been going down this rabbit hole just as long as you. I'd love to support whatever it is that you're doing. I just developed a coffee creamer that has glutathione and omega-3s to decrease inflammation. Would it be okay if I sent you some? Do you know anybody who would benefit from this?
Okay.
Like real quick story, Forrest.
Mm-hmm.
I have this pet project called On Switch. Right, literally, we've been selling it at cost for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Right. I have too much going on for it to be like my thing. Right. So I'm like, want to hire a brand manager and all this. But anyway, selling it at cost, $20. We make no profit. And I've been sending it out personally to friends of mine who have had COVID. Not because it helps with COVID. It doesn't. Any algorithms who are listening, it does not help with COVID. But it helped me, and it helped a lot of people that I know get back on their feet after they experienced that brain fog and depression after they recovered. It's been very helpful for a few people that I've given it to. So I've just been sending it to people that I know who have had COVID and are struggling with that post-COVID depression. I kid you not, one of the people that I sent it out to came back to me and said, whenever you raise money for this, please tell me because I want to invest in this company. And another person was like, I have an email newsletter of 100,000 people that I'd love to send this out for. Do you have the capacity for that? No, I don't. I don't have enough inventory for that. But you see where this is going. Just me being like, who needs this? Give it out, send it to them. Then those conversations start to open up. Where you will get in trouble is when you're like, dear influencer that I have never met and have no relationship with, I would like to carve out 7 points of equity on a performance basis in which you will mail 4 times per week. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, okay. Very much.
Cool.
Yeah.
What chiropractic modalities do you specialize in?
I really don't do any adjustments. It's just lifestyle coaching.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have an opinion on network chiropractic? Is it real or is it all in my head?
We can talk about that privately if you'd like.
Okay.
Send me a DM.
Okay, cool. All right, Forrest, good to see you, my friend.
You too.
All right, see ya. I think he's going to tell me it's woo-woo. I think he's going to tell me to stop paying people to bless my spine.
Oh my gosh. You know what I really love in this is I think you picked up on the word influencer has like this.
Yeah.
We instantly go to Instagram follower person with like whatever fitness model that has 1.4 million followers that that are there because they're mostly dudes that just want to check her out. But I think one of the things like that you can, the way you reframed it was so huge. And I think it's really important for everyone in here. Exactly, Tony. Is for instance, I'll share like one of the things that I'm trying to get is higher level guests in the 1% that are in the places that are really going to help you guys get to the 1% faster. So wealth management, just investors, that kind of stuff. Just bring those experts in, tax specialists, all those kind of people. One of my ways of connecting with them is helping them think about their community and how to build it, because that's what I do. And so one of my ways of trying to reach out and get higher level people in here is just saying, hey, I help with community, building community. Do you want to jump on a call to just talk about how to build yours and some low hanging fruit? And they're like, tell me more. And I'm like, oh, I work for a guy named Ryan Moran. And they're like, who? Oh yeah, he built this thing. We have this thing. And they're like, really? And they're really interested, but you wouldn't see them as influencers. You would just see them as people that are really good at something, right. But they're exactly who I want to get in front of. They're exactly who I want to have come in here. So we just have to pivot the way we think. And I think you hit on that really, really well.
I'm working with a influencer right now who has about 300,000 followers. Also a really great email list. And I'm a fan of her work. And she started, I actually kind of helped her come up with a vision for a brand that I wanted to partner with her on. And she decided she wanted to do it solo. But she's come full circle, and we're probably going to invest in her in the fund. Like I can't wait to support her.
Oh, nice.
She's done a fantastic job. And every time I talk to her, we both pause before saying the word influencer, because she's like, "Oh, they're and it's like, yeah, I hate the word too. This is because when you tend to think about it as like this status thing.
Yep.
What you're looking for is a person who runs a community of people that they actually care about.
Yes.
You know what? Justus, from here on out, I will reframe influencer as community leader.
There you go. That's good. I like it.
All right. Victor, I want to get to you, but it's been kind of a dude fest here. So I want to give Rose the platform before we get to you. Rose, tell us what's going on. How are you this morning?
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
So I'm pretty new to the 1%, but I started last year. I was kind of obsessed with listening to your Audible 50 bazillion times. And so we decided to launch. My husband's actually in manufacturing. He's just successful in his own space, but I've always kind of had that spirit. And I kind of went through this transition last year where I had multiple autoimmune issues, and I was having a lot of problems. I actually was in the best shape of my life, and then got told I was pre-diabetic, which is more my genes. So I was really looking for answers to try to help me feel better. And so I went completely plant-based. And then I was searching. Okay, so my biggest problem was I didn't do soy, I didn't do gluten. So I'm like this, looking for all these different specific
Well, don't
things.
buy Tony's pancake mix. Definitely
I saw
don't
that,
buy Tony's pancake mix.
I will not be buying his pancakes. And so it's funny because I actually created my own pancake mix based on
I love it.
Based on there's a product in Australia that is so I was like a little bit obsessed too with Little Bucks, but there's a product in Australia that is the lowest carb legume, and it's also the highest protein. It's like one of the biggest superfoods in the world that's not really known in the US.
Is it Inky Seed?
No, it's lupin. And so lupin is actually gram for gram, it beats all the plant-based proteins out there, and it's super low carb, and it's super lower calorie than any. So the biggest struggle I found, I think, with a lot of people, because I moderate a couple different groups. Some of them are like insane amount of people, like 270,000 people, but it's just this mess of this like madness of people just looking for answers on their plant-based journey. And so I actually became a moderator because I requested to become a moderator, because I was so interested in trying to find answers. There's got to be somebody like me. I thought, like, there's
Justus, how fired up are you right now?
So anyway,
Rose, real quick, rewind. Before we go into the ingredient that you're stoked about, that we're all stoked about, tell me again about this group you're moderating, that they're just looking for answers, and there's how many of them?
Okay, so when I started my journey, I was looking for groups that appealed to me that were recipe groups. And I joined this group that was getting a lot of spam and things like that. So I offered to moderate it and run the groups, and they asked me to run a couple other groups. And so my biggest thing is it's so big at this point that I'm trying to find a way to build a sense of community. I started a new group just to kind of be more honed in, but like I'm having a hard time, one, managing everything because it's a total pain, I realized, like to moderate all these groups. But I'm also trying to find a way to kind of narrow down the focus to be more of a sense of community where I'm engaging with them a lot more. So I have gotten sales from the groups, and I get more like as far as like people's awareness of my website and people who follow me. It's all from those groups of just like kind of organically responding. Perfect. So I think the biggest challenge I have right now is I follow macros, and I'm not quite sure who. Okay, so the vegan community, I don't know if you guys are familiar. Like I used to wonder why people thought vegans were a little bit nutty, and now I know why. Because, I can tell you, yeah. So I have 2 kids with one. Yep. Yeah. So but I think the biggest challenge is a lot of vegans don't really care about their health as much. Now, that's not a blanket statement, but a lot of them don't care about their health. Right. And so plant-based people do, and I care about my health. So I think it's just a matter of finding, I guess, my also specific audience, because you have this pushback I found from plant-based that they don't care about protein. Well, I'm in the fitness space. I've been in the fitness space my whole life, and I'm into working out. And so for me, macros and protein, that's super important. So I'm trying to kind of figure out where my focus should be, because my pancake mix is a higher protein mix that's like lower carb, but I'm not quite sure how to appeal to just the plant-based athlete in these large groups, because a lot of people are just in there. Like I did a survey, most people are in there for their health. So my product does fit.
They are in there for their health?
Yes, they are in there for their health. But a lot of people kind of shy away. It's like this. It's almost like this knee-jerk reaction that plant-based people have. That like, it's a myth that you need protein. It's like, well,
broccoli has more protein per calorie than steak, Rose. All right, then go eat 9 pounds.
If you eat like 100 grams and like giant bowls of it, yes. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is finding the people that value fitness, because if you're a day-to-day person, yeah, your needs may not be higher, but I want to feel the ultimate, like to me, I'm looking for the person that wants to get to their optimal health. And that is my person.
Okay. So Rose, if you just stuck with that statement and didn't think about anybody else, you're home free.
But does it have to be in the plant-based section, I guess? Because like, okay, if you look at
what you mean by that question, because we've gone through how Tony could have a pancake mix that was vital wheat gluten and soy and aspartame, and it be to one group of people and it'd be fine. And Forrest's would be an anti-inflammatory pancake mix, so it would appeal to that group. Where do you get stuck talking about your pancake mix or your coffee creamer or your Lil Bucks to the plant-based athlete or just to the optimal performer? Where do you get stuck there?
I think of trying to find, like in the groups, there's so many people, trying to find that customer that cares more about, and really having, that's why I started my own group, because I wanted to appeal to people that were a little bit more controlled, where I can ask more questions and engage. So the engagement's kind of low for the group. For that group. And so I've kind of defaulted to kind of sharing my content. Like I started doing recipes and sharing my content to get people to kind of know how to use the product. So that was kind of my in for sharing.
Rose, first of all, I just want to acknowledge you're doing all the right things. Okay. Like nothing is wrong here. You're doing a really great job to seed this audience. If you've listened to my book 50 times, like you said, you remember the section about stacking the deck. You're stacking the deck perfectly. You are my dream audio listener when it comes to stacking the deck. Where I'm hearing you get hung up is that you are getting distracted by all of the noise of the people who are not your ideal person. It's like if I were to say, I've gone on 50 dates and I really, really, really like this girl, but these 49 girls just keep on texting. Like any reasonable person would be like, moron, stop texting the 49 girls and ask the other girl out again.
Yeah.
Oh, but I would lose all these 49 girls. Right? That is the silliest example ever. But that is what a lot of entrepreneurs will do. It's like, I have all these people who are blowing me up that want vegan mix. I got this one person who's this raving fan that I just love to serve. Well, go after that one person because they know people and they're connected and there's millions of people just like them. Now, in the vegan community specifically, I'm sure you already know this. Forgive me if I'm insulting your intelligence. Vegan means animal rights defender and social media poster of horrific images of slaughterhouses. Plant-based means I eat plants for my health. Yeah. So if you look at, like, I'm an investor in a brand called Outstanding Foods. Outstanding Foods does plant-based pork rinds, plant-based bacon chips, plant-based meal puffs, all high protein, clean ingredients. They never, ever, 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 ever market themselves as vegan, but they are. They market themselves as plant-based nutrition, protein from plants. So the person that they're serving is kind of the same as you, the person who's optimizing for health, but they're vegan owners, they're plant-based owners. And so that's the community that they're advertising to. That's the community that they're talking to. All of their sponsors, like one of their influencers that has equity is Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is vegan. So it all serving the same person, but they're not they don't market themselves as vegan. Right. Does this make sense so far? Yeah. So from your product development standpoint, is your product plant-based? Is it vegan?
So it says on the front that it's plant-based because I feel like people have, negative connotations for veganism. It does say on the back that it's vegan, just like throughout the list of stuff that it is. I think so I have a pancake mix and the actual just base crumbles that I got from Australia. But my next step I'm wondering is, and I know maybe I'm moving too fast, but like I'm all about convenience. When my husband and I are working out, everything's about convenience for us. And so I make a lot of recipes, but most people don't want to make a lot of recipes. And so we live, today we want to just grab something and go. So I'm wondering and I'm exploring, I've contacted a couple of different companies of finding a stable product because I have cookies. I have all these recipes that I have that I've completely revamped and turned into protein recipes and perfected them because I've had them for years. But I don't know if I should go to the shelf-stable side where I'm trying to have product instead of a mix, which I have right now, of having a product where it's really convenient for people to just take with them.
What are your sales right now, Rose?
They're not very much. I probably get 1 or 2 sales a day.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I would encourage you to stay.
And I'm not selling very much on Amazon. It's mostly my website.
That's fine. So I would encourage you to stay the course here because you're doing a great job in the periphery. Okay. So in baseball, there's oftentimes that a pitcher will have really bad stats, but they'll say, but his peripherals are fantastic. What that usually means is that he's doing all the right things, but the batters are getting lucky. Like it's just the peripheral stats suggest this guy is having an unfair month. So let's not judge him on this month. That's how I'm viewing you right now. Your peripheral stats sound great. You're doing the right thing by going all in on the customer. You're doing a great job by getting plugged into communities. Where you are hung up is you're not 100%. You haven't really gone in on your person yet. You're still a little distracted by the noise of the people that are the loudest. The minute that switches for you, that will go from 2 sales a day to 5 to 10. And now you've got enough momentum to get reviews or branch out to Amazon or whatever you decide, or add upsells or whatever you decide to do. And even if that's 3 months, that's okay. means you're on pace for that 25 and you can roll out product number 2. That's the point where I would say, okay, go for a convenience food or go for a second product or go for a healthy pancake syrup. That's when you start thinking about that. I think I don't see any bleeding problems to suggest that you need to make a pivot in your brand right now. I think you're right on pace. And do you have that magical secret Australian ingredient as the base of your pancake mix?
Yes.
You need to talk about that more.
Okay.
It's super interesting. I'm a health food nerd. I've never heard of this thing. I think I'm cool because I know what Inky Seed is, and I was super early on the acai bandwagon. But I've never heard of this legume that has high protein. So you need to talk about this more. Okay. So all this to say, I think you have a lot more meat on this steak. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, Rose, the question that came through for me when you were sharing was, what is the result that she's not seeing? That you're like, I'm not seeing this result, therefore I have these questions. Is that clear for you? What the result is that you aren't seeing?
Yeah, I guess I will am admittedly really impatient, and so that's just me. In my mind, I have 50,000 ideas and I know they're going to be successful. But with this product, I think it's just a matter of veganism and plant-based is so new to me because I switched in November. And so I'm still kind of navigating my own, like other people's struggles and trying to figure out like what's important to people and kind of weeding out like, okay, wait, it's not veganism because these people are like all about animals and they hate food. So like, healthy food. So it's like, okay, whatever, but I think it's just about navigating kind of the more straight path because also my group, okay, so the smaller group I created, it's become such a stressor for me to try to pull engagement. And then I'm thinking, why am I caring so much about, this engagement when I'm supposed to be helping people? Like I default back to like, what is my reason why I even created this?
Yes.
Why am I caring so much about engagement in the group when it's really about serving people to the best of what I know this product is and what I believe in this product. And so
Rose, two things, because something just occurred to me as you were saying this. First, number one, forgive me for the pitch. I'm a terrible salesperson, but I would love to serve you in the incubator. If you're feeling called to go in there at all, like
I was going to say the same thing.
I would love to serve you in there because the minute that you get really clear on this vision,
yes,
like I'm already like I would so invest in this brand. So like you're right, you are right on the cusp of it. It makes me uncomfortable to pitch on these, so forgive me, but I would love to have you in there. Number two, it occurs to me as you're saying this that what you just said is exactly what your audience needs to hear. And that is things like, hey, everybody, I'm kind of new to the plant-based movement. I converted over in November. I miss eggs. I'm not perfect. Somebody waved a cheesecake at me last week and it had dairy in it. Totally had a bite. Totally did it. But I'm trying to do my part because I discovered I had these autoimmune issues. And since I made the switch, they've improved dramatically. And so I want to share a few things with you that I think really helped. Like sharing that personal side and sharing like, I discovered this seed. This is so cool. Have any of you ever heard of this before? Or this legume? Have any of you heard of this before? Like documenting your transformation is what will drive the engagement.
Okay.
I used to put so much thought into like, what's going to drive up downloads? What's going to drive up views? Turns out that being a real person and serving people from a genuine place drives up engagement. But being in a position of like, this has to be something drives people away.
Right. Yeah.
You're so close, Rose. I'm so fired up for you.
Yes.
And I'm getting from you, like, I'm just picking up some resistance. Like there's something you don't agree with or believe in or see. And I want to know what that is because whatever I'm seeing, I don't think you're seeing yet. And I want to bridge that gap.
Gosh, I guess it's just, I guess it's not okay. So when we talk about social media, and I know that when we talk about engagement, I think my biggest challenge is like to know how many groups I should be spending my time doing.
So where does your focus need to be? Is that the question?
Yeah, because I do see conversion or like even responses of people interested when I'm posting in the group and providing recipes and content. But it's also a big stressor for me because I know I have a good product and I know it can help people and I'm confident about that. Like this is an amazing product. It helps the soil. Like it's like, it's like Little Box, but it actually helps improve the soil. But it's also just an amazing product that people should be eating because most people in the plant-based, they want to lose weight. So even if you don't care about fitness, it's going to help them get to their goal. And I just feel like I don't know how that would translate when I have so many different groups that I feel like my time's slightly divided between all of them. And I don't know if I should just kind of dissolve the smallest group that I have.
I don't want you to worry about any of this right now. There's only one thing I want you to think about right now. Who is the ideal person that would love your pancake mix?
Yes.
That's the only thing I want you to worry about right now.
Okay.
Because I guarantee you that at least 10% of the people in every group are that person.
Yeah.
And the only, like, you do not need to worry about frequency. You don't need to worry about management. If that's your job, like if you're getting paid for that, keep doing that stuff. But the only thing that you need to worry about right now is who is the person that would absolutely love your pancake mix and how do you get it in their hands? And that might be as simple as identifying the 9 people in one of those groups and sending them a mix for free.
Okay.
And watching them post about it. And then seeing who else comes out of the woodwork. Look, I'll be honest with you, Rose. Justus and I are going through this right now inside the 1%. Our most successful, like our ideal people are quiet in the group. This is the first time we're talking. You're my ideal person to work with, Rose. I can talk to you and other people all day and build $1 million businesses. But who reaches out? People who are like, how do I make money on the internet?
Yeah.
Right? So like this happens in every group. The squeakiest wheels drive away the ideal people. And so what you have to be so intentional about is knowing and believing that those ideal people are there and thinking about them with every post, thinking about them with every reply to Dirk, who is complaining about something.
Sure.
Like it is thinking about how do I call out the people who are the ideal and continue to serve them even while they're quiet, even while there's 9 of them. Because I know that when those 9 become raving fans, that becomes 18. And when those 18 become raving fans, it becomes 36. When those 36 become raving fans, it becomes 3,600. And so you don't even need to worry about everybody else. You don't need to worry about the 99. You need to worry about the 1. So like, were you here for Tony's time?
Yes.
All right. So
I did not see the video that he was talking about.
Yeah, we posted that in the incubator, but I'm fairly confident that Tony is now a raving fan. Because like I'm all in on his brand, right? Like if he goes in this direction, like he has my full support. I'm so pumped for Tony. I'm pretty confident that when Tony has a 7 or an 8-figure exit, other people are going to see that story, be like, I want to be the next Tony. And they're going to look and sound a lot like Tony. And so you do that over and over and over and over and for the people that you genuinely want to serve. That is your only job. Everything else is noise.
Yeah. Rose, can I make a comment here?
Sure.
One of the things that, and I'm not pitching the incubator, I'm just giving you an example, but one of the things that we do is like, we want our entrepreneurs to be in a place of confidence. And when I see you in a place of confidence, it's when you're talking about the ingredients and the results it brings for this person. Like your energy went up, your confidence went up. Like I saw Rose, I was like, there she is. I saw it go away when you had to think about which group you need to focus on and the distractors in those groups and what to do there. And how do I, like, who do I serve there? And where's my, like all that stuff. And what I would imagine is what you're really asking is, how do I stay in a mode of confidence for this brand, even in the midst of these groups that are a mix of ideal people? And I want to show up as me, because when I show up as me, I know my business will grow.
Right.
And so what Ryan just shared answers that question. Speak to those people in those groups. And I just wouldn't worry too much about the distractors, the squeaky wheels. They're going to be there the whole time. Wait till you launch on Amazon. Like you're going to get, like you'll have those people there. But the more the rows that I just saw that showed up and talked about this ingredient and was like, look at what it does. It serves my person so well. They can lose weight because I know they wonder about losing weight. And it does these things and all this stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, she'll be on like shows on TV if she stays here. Like she'll have no problem serving people. She'll have no problem getting an 8-figure exit. Like there's like, if you stay there. So we're asking you to do something that's probably going to be the hardest thing for you to do is to not get distracted by squeaky wheels. That's it. And thinking about what group do I let go? It's this or is it that? It's like, no, you're an owner, not a group manager. Don't worry about that. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that is a waste of time. Just show up and talk about the results that you're bringing and how important it is and serve. And we will be talking in like 6 months and you're like, okay, so I found this other ingredient in Australia that does this. I'm at 25
kangaroo meat.
Yes. And it's amazing. And I have all these things. It's amazing. And the 270,000 group, they actually, because I'm so good at showing up, they decided that I shouldn't just moderate, but I should own it. So I now own it and all this other stuff because you're just coming up and showing up with confidence and you're showing up and just serving. So 100%. Just stay there. Stay 100%. Right there.
Okay.
We got your back, Rose. We are real. Justus and I are really fired up for you. Right?
Yeah, we're really excited.
Would you please do us a favor and update us inside of the Facebook group at least once every 7 to 10 days?
Sure.
Because like this whole community would love to pour into you.
Yeah.
And there's probably 30 people who would like to buy your pancake mix right now. Is that okay with you?
This is kind of a side note for me, but like I struggled. I went through a lot of abuse when I was a kid, and this was the past first year that I like felt confident about me, but it's only because I feel like I truly have something aside from my kids. Like I love my kids obviously, but I think COVID helped me find myself. And part of that was just like knowing that I have a purpose to serve others. And so when I feel confident about that, but as far as me, like that me being like, they really like me, no, that kind of stuff, I just get a little bit uncomfortable in that respect.
Good for you. Rose, what is your website?
Lupin Food Company, lupinfoodco.com.
Lupinfoodco.com. All right, hang on with me for a second. How do most people find you?
Through Facebook.
Through like the posts that you make?
Yeah, through the posts and through my, just like Facebook suggests. That's how I've seen
all these like snacks and recipes you have on here. Are these recipes or these products that you have?
Well, the products are under the actual product tab, but then the recipes are how I started. So it really was me starting the recipes, and I discovered the product, and then I was creating recipes that kind of coincided and incorporated the product.
Okay, everybody just hang on with me for a second. I'm browsing her site. So it looks like I'm
not a graphic designer, so I know that.
You're fine. I didn't even notice. So it looks like you've got, is it one product or are these crumbles also a product?
Right now, the crumbles is it's a product too.
Okay. But it's the pancake mix that is doing really well, right? Or that's selling.
Well, they both sell well. What I'm trying to move away from is because I don't want to compete. At some point, there's a handful of people on Amazon that sell it, okay? But I don't want to become a commodities, like an ingredient brand. I want to know that I have enough good recipes that are like family recipes that I've converted, that I know my product incorporate, like it just that I've completely changed the recipe to incorporate the product. I want to have that product. I don't want to sell ingredients. I'm not like a bulk wholesaler. That's my thing that I kind of don't want to do at some point.
I understand. Hang on. I'm looking at something. Hey, everybody, I'm on a live call right now inside the 1%. Say hi to Rose. Rose, say hi.
Hi.
Okay, so Rose doesn't know I'm doing this. Rose has this high protein pancake mix that looks really cool, and it's plant-based, and it's made in this legume that I've never heard of that apparently has more protein than what, Rose?
More protein than any plant-based protein that's in the market.
Okay, so I want you to swipe up on this video, and I want you to go buy her pancake mix. It's at lupinfoodco.com. I'm going to buy one right now. You should go buy her product. Go buy her pancake mix. Have plant-based protein pancake mixes for breakfast next week. All right, I'm going to post that. And I want you to, okay, and everybody in the 1%, how much inventory do you have, Rose?
I have a good amount.
What's a good amount?
Probably enough to make 100 something. Probably not a lot, like as far as a good amount, but it's
okay. I'm going to need you to place an order for more inventory because I'm going to have everyone in the 1% buy your pancake mix. Okay. How fast do you think you can get inventory?
Probably within a week.
Is this okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to keep going in this direction because you are on the right track.
Yes.
And this whole community would love to rally behind you because I think what you have is special. Victoria ordered. Thank you, Victoria. I take that as a personal favor. Thank you. I'm going to order some. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. We're going to sell out your pancake mix. Okay.
I appreciate it.
And a bunch of us are going to eat it and review it and give you 2-star reviews. I'm kidding.
I mean, if it's honest feedback,
We'll email our honest feedback.
Well, yeah, that's right. We'll pull a Forrest and we'll say, you should DM me if you want an honest.
Yeah.
Who else is ordering pancake mix? Tell us in the comments.
Go.
Do it now. Who's ordering Lupin pancake mix? Lupin? Is that it?
yeah.
That's the legume?
Yes.
All right, there's another one. Sarah's on her way. Who else? Who else is ordering pancake mix? If you're on your way to the site right now, post in the comments that you're going to buy a pancake mix. I'm going to buy pancake mix. Who wants to have Ashley's going to buy pancake mix? We should have a pancake breakfast inside the 1%.
That would be awesome.
There's another one. There's another one. Rose, we got your back.
Thank
Alex
you.
just ordered. John just ordered. Alan just ordered. What's your record sales day, Rose?
I only have had 5 sales in one day.
5? All right, cool. Well, today is your best sales day.
Non-family members. Okay.
Okay. Today is going to be your best sales day then. I might buy 5 myself.
Just to beat it.
just to guarantee it.
Yeah.
You okay, Rose?
Yeah. I appreciate it. I'm
You're
very
awfully
humbled.
contained. I think I'm more excited than you.
If you get me, okay, if I had a glass of wine, I'd probably be a little bit more excited.
She's come to wine with wine.
Yeah.
So, but I am really excited about the product. I do believe, I do really believe that the product's amazing. And I believe that it should be a staple in everybody's home. That's my goal, is to make it to be, if everybody's wanting to, in any interest, my customer, when you ask my customer, is somebody who is transitioning or completely plant-based, that is looking for ways to eat that will reach their optimal health. So it's not about fitness only, it's about feeling your best. It's not only
Rose,
about
we got you. We're really pumped for you. Will you please send us an update in 7 days?
Yes.
One day, when we all rally behind you, you're going to have a glass of wine and be really excited.
I do get really excited.
Good. All right. We're going to blow up your sales today. John, it's hold on. I'm going to post the link again. There's a bunch of people asking for what it is. So I'm going to post it in here. It's lupinfoodco.com. For some reason, my comments are only going to YouTube, not going to Facebook. We'll post it in the Facebook group as well.
Okay.
Rose, thank you for being on today. This was really
Thanks,
fun.
guys. I'm looking
Great.
forward to seeing you guys in September, end of this month. So
Very good. All right, we'll see you then.
all right.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. All right, now we got to go to my man, Victor, who has been sitting on hold for 9.5 hours, just waiting, patiently waiting. And he was like, oh, Rose will be a quick one. Rose will be a quick one. And then he waits for another half an hour while we get to him. So, Victor, we're coming to you. How are you this morning?
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good to see you.
Good. I feel like I'm at that grocery line and there's that person behind you that has the one item and you got 10 and you're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then they're paying in like pennies or something. And it's like, oh, man. But that was awesome. I loved watching the Rose segment. That was really good.
Good. Well, what can we do for you?
So I'm fairly new. I think I've been part of the 1% maybe just over a month or so. So I've sat in on some of Justus's calls with the coaching, which are very helpful. And where I get stuck through the courses is who to serve, what my focus should be.
Cool.
So I'm hoping maybe we can talk that out and I can get some clarity.
I have a feeling we can.
Okay.
But unfortunately, we're out of time. So just tell us what's been going on. Tell us. And by the way, all of you, while you're listening to Victor, should be ordering pancake mix right now for Rose. Right. So Victor, tell me like what you're thinking about. Just talk out where you're leaning and what you're considering. And it's okay if it's chaotic. Just word vomit on me.
Yeah, sure. So I kind of knew when I joined that physical products or Amazon probably wasn't the route for me.
Okay.
But I still see value in figuring out who I should serve and then figuring out the rest later, how I serve them, whatever the avenue that might be. I really enjoy helping people and working with people. And whenever I try to do product research, figure out what's a good product for a particular type of person, I always get stuck because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm going to be serving that person via this product. So I don't know if you'll end up. Do you feel like you get stuck when you start thinking about the product or when you're thinking about the person? Both. Before I sort of ran into your kind of what you teach, everybody else teaches product and niches. And I love the idea of finding a person because the products would just take care of themselves. I can figure out what combination of products. That's right. So I've tried it from the who to serve angle as well. And I get stuck and I think I'm just in my own head. I think I'm just analyzing things too much. So what people are you thinking about serving? Like who comes to mind when you're going through those exercises? In my short list, I think one of them is sort of designers. So it could be either interior designer or someone in the design space. Okay, cool. Anyone else? I've thought of DJs. I DJ as a hobby. So that's possibly another avenue. Cool. Just those two. Okay, just those two. Yeah. Both creatives, both creators. Correct. Okay. And why do you think about serving interior designers and or DJs? I think my motivation is usually not monetary when I'm trying to help someone. I get inspiration when I look at, an interior designer's work. There's that excitement there, right? Like you talk about what amps you up, what gets you going versus what sucks sort of the energy out of you. Okay. So music and creativity in terms of design is where I get sort of my energy replenished versus other things that are kind of energy sucking. Okay. So in your experience, you have found that when you're in a creator mode where you are designing or DJing, that's when you feel like you are giving the most. Correct. And you struggle when you start to think about monetizing anything because it takes you out of give mode. Exactly. It just throws me right off and I feel like I'm doing a disservice or I will do a disservice. What you are trying to find is how you give to other creators so you can keep them in giving mode. Exactly. Yes.
And if Victor can stay in giving mode to that group of people, then he would have a really fun business that he would enjoy.
Correct.
Okay, so we're getting close to the experience you're looking for. And my guess is where you are feeling tenseness is that the minute you try to think about businessifying it, you get out of give mode and now you're in tense stress mode.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay, this means you're human. Awesome. You're right in line with a lot of people who are entrepreneurs right now. So this is your work. Your work is asking the question, what do those creators, and I'm just going to call them creators because DJ and designer, kind of this, like, it's really the same spirit you're going for. It's that giving creative spirit. So what do those people genuinely need? What are they genuinely looking for? Where are they genuinely hurting? And when I ask you that question, what comes to mind?
That's a good question. What are they looking for? I'm not sure. I have to think about that. Nothing.
Just play. What do you think? What would you think?
I think first thing that comes to mind is usually when I'm speaking to other creators, they just want to be in that space of creating all the time. Much like me, they get taken out. So they want to produce, they want to make something, right? But when it comes to the business side of it or sharing their work, they probably have the same angst that I have about, oh, I got to sell this, or I got to go into business mode, or how do I figure out creating an email list, that sort of thing. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
So the first thing that creator needs is help with their business. That was more a question than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that, certainly.
Anything else?
No, so I think if I think about that some more is, how do I get help with my business while still having the time to create? How do I stay mostly in that creative zone and not as much in sort of the business?
So what is your creative outlet?
It's mostly music, DJing.
DJing. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I wonder, Victor, if there are people out there who specialize in helping creators build businesses. And I wonder if they would come on a podcast that you hosted that was for creators, all about business. I wonder if there's an audience of creators who love their work and feel tense about making it a business.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
And I wonder if you just documented your journey of figuring that out for yourself, if other people who are in the same spot as you wouldn't discover it and resonate with you. And I wonder if you stayed in that give mode for 6 months, building up that audience, if you'd have enough of a launch group that you could do something from a purely giving place that allowed you to build this business while helping other businesses. Or I wonder if you might just get so in love with community building among other creators and so good at bringing in the business leaders in that space that you would need to have a product. You would just have a community that you were serving.
Right, right.
Or I wonder if you would give so much of that community that they would start downloading all your stuff on Spotify and you become a trending DJ on Spotify. All this to say, we can crack the monetization nut in a bunch of different ways. But your work is thinking about how do you stay in that give mode for the other people who are also craving that and needing that.
Okay.
How do you feel right now?
I think that's good. I think that's really what my challenge is, like you said, whenever I start to think that way, I just take myself right out. And if I can stay in that give mode, that's a good place for me to be. And that's where I think where I can help the most.
That's exactly right.
So I think it's definitely something I'll take away and think about and figure out how do I do that? Just stay there
Well,
and serve
I
them.
want you to just think about the person and how you help that person.
Okay.
Because that is how you stay there.
Okay. I see Justus is smiling, so it's a good sign.
Do you get that? Like
Yeah,
staying with the
absolutely.
person is the how. That is the how.
Yeah.
And just so you know,
Yeah.
I struggle with this too. It's like, should we do 2 calls a month or 4 calls a month or right? And I've found for me, there's like a balance of any more than about 2 live calls a month. I now feel like my capacity is being drained.
Okay.
So right about 2 calls a month for this group is my sweet spot for feeling like I can just be totally present with Victor. And I can totally pay attention to what he needs.
Yeah.
And I can be in give mode on that. And that's enough. Right? So that's about my balance. And you'll find it too, where you'll be like, what do they need? And what do I have capacity for?
Okay.
And just staying there with that person, that will fuel you rather than drain you.
Okay. Cool.
Good work.
Yeah. Victor, why did you create this? Why are you creating this?
Why am I creating?
What you're trying to create? What's the purpose behind it?
I think my drive is just to give. Like as a creative, I want to give. I want to create something. It's sort of an innate drive. I think if I'm not creating and giving, that's where my energy comes from. That's where my passion comes from. So it's more. There's no like straight answer for that, but it's basically that's where I get energized. Is when I'm creating in this space.
I love that. Tell me what was missing that you created this for, that you're trying to achieve.
What was missing? I think because in my day-to-day today, I don't honor that creative side of me. It's all kind of logical work that I do. I'm in a tech space, so I've gotten good at that, but none of it energizes me or
and do I get that?
Gives me what I need. Yeah. So I'm now trying to make that a priority and do something
Beautiful.
where it's coming from the heart, basically, not sort of money driven or salary driven.
And when have you felt like that the most in the past? Like I am in give right now and I feel like myself.
Yeah, so that's sort of where I got into the music just a few years ago. And whenever I am in that space where I'm making something for other people, that's where I'm in the zone.
Good.
And have you had anyone respond to your give going, I listened to this, or this happened, and you're like, that's when I was giving? What were their testimonies?
Yeah, so specifically, I'd made a mix for someone, a close friend, and just I just needed someone to listen to it. I was just like, anybody could listen to this, go for it, right? As a beginner. And they messaged me back and they said, the timing of this couldn't have been more perfect. I needed to hear these songs in this sequence. This just made my day. And I'm like, okay, I just needed you to hear the mix and tell me whether it sucked. But, it was cool that they came back and said, hey, this made my day.
And what was the feeling that you had when you got that story, that testimony?
Do more of that. That was
Good.
the immediate feeling. Give it to more people.
And did you do that?
I did.
And did you get any responses from that?
Yeah, I did. It's I guess I don't take it seriously. So I did get responses for that, but I just treat it as a hobby. So I haven't really given it the respect probably it deserves, just because it's something I do on the side. If that makes sense.
I hear you. So what I'm hearing you, instead of respect, it's like you're not honoring your give in a way.
Yeah. Yes.
Correct.
To bring more value to more people. And when you think about monetizing it, you have that in your mind as almost like taking, or trying to. And what I would encourage you to do is, one, what Ryan just shared with you is how you honor more people. you letting people know. In my mind, I'm like, dude, just go live on YouTube DJing and just do it, and just like when you're done, copy the link and send it to a few people and say, hey, I thought of you when I made this. Would love for you to share it if you know of anybody else that needs this today. And there will be a community that grows around that. But I think one thing that I've had to change in my mind, and I want to encourage you to maybe think, is monetization is just creating a really clear path for other people to be served by you. And you don't have to think about how to monetize it right away, but Ryan can't give away a lot of his time unless he monetizes, for instance, the incubator.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now a clear path for more people to know where to receive value from Ryan, and he creates a path for them. And so for you, it's when you get to a point where you're like, I need to monetize this. Like, this is I need to be thinking about monetizing. Just know that's honor too. It's honoring clarity for people on a path on how to receive the value that you're giving. Instead of, I'm going into ask mode. I'm going into whatever mode. No, I'm just being really clear to more people on how to find my value. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the test for you is, can you go into that give creative mode for long enough to where there's now demand enough to where you have to create the path?
Yes.
I'm sure you're familiar with Mark, is it Rebellet or Rebele? Do you know who that is?
No.
He's this DJ who DJs in his underwear.
No, I've never.
And he's hilarious. Like, watching him is unbelievably joyful. And he just does it for fun, but then people want to hire him to do sets and be at their events. Right. But there's a time where it's just lean into the joy of the creating.
Yes.
Where what you are doing is you are challenging its value by saying it's just a hobby.
Okay.
But what it actually is it's your life-giving activity.
Mm-hmm.
What balances out the tech side of your life, the logical part of your life, the go-getter part of your life. So if you see that as the fuel, eventually you will lean into that enough to where you're giving so much that people are just flocking to you. I don't know how that monetizes yet, which is probably a good thing, because if I knew how to monetize that, I would tell you and you would logically think about it, and it would kill off the give.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Just lean into that.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to look up, what do you say is Mark?
Mark, it's Rebellet, I think.
Okay. And that might be a good marketing channel for the gentleman who was on here earlier. I was just thinking he sells underwear.
Might be. All right, Victor.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Right,
bye.
See ya.
Justus, we have more people in the green room, but I sadly I don't have time to prep for our Cap Inc. call and pee, because we're going in a few minutes. So I sadly need to bounce. I apologize, Sean and Kirthan, for not getting to you. Hope to get to you another time. I got to go serve the incubator.
Same here. I got to go. We love you guys.
Justus, this was fun.
This is great. What a blast.
Everybody go buy some pancake mix.
Yes.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Great to see you. Great time today. Really enjoyed today. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Yeah.